So we got back off holiday on Monday dinner time. It is now the weekend. And this week has just consisted of us just basically getting back into a routine, catching up on sleep. It's been a pretty lazy week, but we basically had an incredible holiday. It was so good. Really wish I was back there already. So cold back home. I miss the heat and I miss the sunshine. Whilst I was at the hotel, we met some incredible people, some really, really friendly people. I chatted to loads and loads of people from all over the country. Got chatting to some very, very friendly Americans, but also I met some lovely friends from England as well, some local and some further afield. This first couple I met from Preston, and they were there on their honeymoon. What's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah, what's yours?
Yeah.
I'm Kat, where are you from?
Preston.
Woo! And you're localers. It's nice to meet you anyway.
Yeah,
Enjoyed the chat with you. So another lovely couple I met from Scotland. Really, really nice to talk to. They was lovely with me and my daughter. He also has a YouTube channel, so I'll put that in the description. So go check him out as well.
Can you put any down?
Yes, I can. I'm going to change.
So what's your name?
Right. Oh, I'm Katrina.
Katrina, oh yeah. And what's your name?
Nathan.
Nathan. And where are you from?
I'm from Bathgate in West Lothian.
Okay. Nice to meet you both. Another lovely chap that I got chatting to. Really, really sound to talk to. We had some good conversations. He always seemed to be up at the same time as me, so we ended up talking in the lobby quite a lot. So yeah, he was a lovely guy up from Scotland as well. Hi, what's your name?
Mark.
Mike, and where are you from? Glasgow. Oh, we've got somebody over there from Edinburgh, so not far off.
They're the posh people.
They're the posh people. So, how are you feeling? A bit fed up?
Very.
Very fed up. You ready to go out?
Starving hungry.
Yeah. It's nice to meet you anyway, Mike. Another family that I met was super sound, super lovely. We had such a laugh, and we sort of got talking the night before the hurricane. We stopped up, like having a laugh, having a giggle, having a few drinks, having snacks, and Rebecca got on well with the two little kids that were with them. So I didn't actually get round to filming them, unfortunately, but put a picture in here. In this picture there's 3 of them missing, so a big hi to them. Local to me, from Wigan, so they were such a lovely family, and yeah, it was really nice to meet them. Another chap that I got chatting to, such a lovely guy. Again, didn't get round to filming him, but he was so sad. He was there with his wife and his kids. Sounds like he's had a bit of an eventful life, like he's been in and out the army and things. Can't remember where he said he was from, but if you're watching, a big hi to you and your family. He says he's going to be starting his own YouTube channel soon, so if you do, I hope you get in touch, send me your details so I can come and check your channel out. I really enjoyed meeting you, so I hope to see you again one day. So yeah, so there was loads of lovely people I met whilst I was there. Didn't obviously get a chance to film them all. I hope, to everybody I met there and got talking to at the hotel, I hope our paths cross again one day and we can hang out and have a chat and catch up. It was lovely to meet you. There was also a mother and a daughter there that I met. It was a daughter's 21st birthday while we were there, and it was actually, her birthday was on the day that the hurricane hit when we were stuck in the hotel, so it was such a shame on her being stuck in the hotel for her birthday. But I hope you enjoyed the rest of your holiday. It was so lovely to meet you. When we moved to the new hotel, we met, like when we were in the pool, Rebecca met this young lad. He was only 9 years old, and they got on super well, and I got chatting to his dad. They were lovely. They were lovely to chat to. So just basically everyone I met, a big hi to. Miss yous all. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your holiday, and like I say, I hope we meet again one day. So next I'm just going to talk about basically tips on going to Florida. So if you've got an holiday coming up in the next year or so, then you might want to watch this, or I don't know, you might want to go and watch somebody else who's probably more better at doing this than me, who's been doing it longer. But if you're not going to Florida at all or whatever, then you don't have to watch this because it might be a little bit boring, or you might still want to watch it for future reference, I don't know. So basically these tips that I'm about to give you are solely based on my opinion, my experience on the holiday, and this is just based on one adult, one child, going from the first basically a few weeks of September. So obviously, like I say, I have no experience when it comes to other times of the year, what it's like. And for a big party, although I might be able to give a few little tips even there on probably the best way to book for a big family, but like I say, it was just purely a holiday for me and Rebecca, so I can't really say how you would plan an holiday for a party of 8, let's say. So I've broke this down into a few categories. I made a few notes for myself basically, so if I keep looking down then you know why. I broke this up into fast passes, money, how to get around the park, what's at the parks, spending money, what to pack in a bag, and then also what to do and what not to do. So I'm going to start off with fast passes. Now, if you've got booked your holiday and it's all set and ready, you can go online and go to something called My Disney Experience. And on there you can set up an account and you can put in the dates that you are going on holiday, and you can basically download an app on your phone that's also called My Disney Experience. And on what this app does for you is it basically tells you when you're in the parks, it locates your location straight, like it's like Google Maps basically, but for the parks. And you can say, I want to get from this location to this ride or this attraction or whatever, and it will guide you through the park, and it's really, really simple to follow. The other thing it does is gives you the waiting times on the rides, where each of the things are, character spots or dining or anything you really look for in the park, it'll show you that. But the best thing that it does is fast passes. Now, you can book your fast passes 30 days in advance. That's what me and Rebecca did. Or if you, I'm not sure how this one works, but if you're staying on resort or you have some special form of tickets, you can book 60 days in advance. But either one, it works really, really well. You go on there, and whichever ride you want to go on, you're allowed to book 3 fast passes for one of the parks each day. So when it becomes 30 days before you're due to go on your holiday, on that day you can say, right, I want to go to this park and I want to go on this ride, and you can add all your members of your family or your party, however many's going to that on that trip on that day, and you can say, right, I want to add this person, and then you can add that person to the list, and you can say, we want a fast pass for this ride, and then that's your fast pass booked. It will give you an hour slot, so say like you book it for 9 o'clock, you have got to get to that ride from 9 o'clock till 10 o'clock. You can't get there early, you have to go exactly on the time. I think there is a little bit of leeway. I would recommend getting there as early as possible if you've booked the fast pass, but I think there is a little bit of a leeway if you're late, because I know me and Rebecca made it to a few of the rides late and it still allowed us on. It all depends on who's working on that ride that day, whether they'll let you on, or if it'll, basically when you get to that ride you'll scan your fast pass or your watch or whatever it is you've got. You can scan your phone and it'll turn green, and if you haven't got a fast pass it'll stay white basically. So yeah, so that's the fast pass bit that is really, really convenient. My recommendation is plan which ride you want to go on with you and your family, which parks you want to go to and which rides you want to go on, and I would kind of try and get the fast passes in order of where they are. So basically you're not dashing from one ride that's at this side of the park and then you've got to quickly dash to the other side of the park for another fast pass that you've got. I'd either give yourself some leeway or maybe research the parks, look them up in order, and then book them sort of, so if one fast pass is here, make sure your next fast pass is maybe next to it, so that way you're just not rushing about from one ride to another. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about each of the parks themselves. I'm going to start off with Epcot. I'm going to basically say what's at the parks, how to get around, maybe what to miss, what to go on, queue in, and which is the best parks, which is the biggest, which is the smallest. So Epcot is basically, I would say, a space-themed attraction park. It's very futuristic basically. There's no roller coasters there, and you can go in at the beginning. There's one section where you're walking past the big, what we like to call the golf ball. You're walking past that, and then there's all the rides. There's a Disney character spot, and then there's like 3D experiences basically, and then right at the back there's a massive giant lake, and you can walk round the giant lake, and it's basically taking you through each of the countries around the world. When we were there, obviously it was based on Food and Wine Festival, so it had stalls set up for food and wine relating to them countries. So it's not really a big thrill park, roller coasters. So I'll show you a map of it now. So yeah, these are maps that you can pick up at each one of the parks. They're very simple to follow. So like I said, this is Epcot. That's the big golf ball we were talking about, which is the main entrance. You walk under there. This bit's, like I said, where all the basically 3D experience rides are. Over here is something called Test Track, which is really fun if you've got any family members who are into fast cars. It's a fast car ride, which is really good and really fun for family. And over here is something called Soaring, which is like a really good 3D ride. And then if you walk right back here over a bridge, like I said, this is the big lake, and you can start here and you can just make your way right round in one big circle, so there's no confusion. You can start at the beginning, make your way around, and end up right back to where you started. And all these are basically, like I said, they're obviously different countries that you'll walk through, and whatever theme they've got set up for that time per year. And then here, right in the middle, right at night, they'll put on a firework display show, which is so interesting to watch. So yeah, so obviously that's Epcot for you, and it's one of the main, I'd say it's quite large, quite big to walk around. But yeah, it's a really fun place to go. The next one I want to discuss is Magic Kingdom, the main attraction for basically any little princesses who wants to meet their Disney characters, Disney princesses. That's where you'll find them here. There's small to medium rides. I think the biggest ride at this park is Space Mountain, but again, not very big on like thrill rides, massive roller coasters, upside down rides. So this is your main entrance. And then this is what they call Main Street. Along here is all shops. And then right in the centre here, you have your castle, which is your main, I'd say, meeting spot. This is where sort of everyone sort of hangs around for the nighttime show. And then it, obviously, as you can tell, it sort of spiders off into different directions. But there is a train that you can get on that stops at different parts of the park, but it is quite easy to walk around. And again, it's one that you can walk around in one big circle, so you can start here, make your way around, walk round, and then head over here, and then yeah, basically just walk around into one big circle. It is a little bit more complicated than Epcot, but it's, like I say, you can't get lost in any of these parks. They're pretty simple. Over here is all your Fantasyland, where all your Peter Pan ride is, your sort of Disney characters are, Gaston's over here. Then this is a little bit more futuristic, where Space Mountain is. Then over here, that's Thunder Mountain, which is a bit of a roller coaster as well. It's not too big, the little kids can go on it. Splash Mountain, and then, like I say, right in the centre is the main castle point. So again, very simple to follow, very easy. Now this is Animal Kingdom. I think out of all the parks, this is definitely the largest. It's the largest, and I think it is the most complicated one to get around. It's not one that, I mean, you can walk around in one big circle, but there's, as you can tell, lots of little bits in an island here, and then lots of different things off in all different directions. So this bit is the new Pandora section that has just been built. Flight of Passage is a fantastic ride. You want to go on that if you can. The boat ride wasn't too good, but I don't know, some people might enjoy that. But Flight of Passage in Pandora was an amazing ride. And then up here you've got like a safari. you sit in a car and someone takes you on a bit of a safari round and teaches you about your animals. Then over here is Everest. That's sort of like a fast roller coaster ride. Again, little kids can go on that, I think. And then over here is your little kiddie section, Dino Land, little bit of smaller rides for the little kiddies. In the centre is the Tree of Life, which is the main, I think it's the first thing you pretty much see as you walk in. You walk up here and then that's like it. You can see that from all directions of the park. So again, it's not a big theme park, massive roller coaster one, but again, it's a park mainly based on animals. Obviously, the clue's in the title, but the whole family can really, really enjoy it and get a lot out of this park. So the next one I want to discuss is basically Disney Hollywood Studios. Now, out of all of them, this one has probably got to be the smallest. There's not many rides at this one. There's one large roller coaster, which is the Aerosmith roller coaster, which is over here. It's obviously, as you can tell, based on the band Aerosmith. Very rock and roll. It's a fantastic ride. It does go fast, and there is a few loops in it. It is an incredible ride. I absolutely loved it. And then across from that is I always get tongue-tied with this one. Terror of Tower, or is it Tower of Terror? You always get tongue-tied with that one. And that's basically, it's kind of like a drop ride, but it's not as scary as it sounds. It goes up a few times, drops you a few times. It's basically a sort of horror story that walks you through kind of a bit of a spooky story and then drops you a couple of times. I can't say if smaller kids will like this one. I know my Rebecca didn't go on it, so again, it's probably down to parents to decide whether the kids can ride in or not. Then basically you just have your basic 3D experience rides. There's a Frozen sing-along show, which is absolutely brilliant to watch. It's so funny. And then you have your Muppet show, and yeah, just like I said, this park is more based around the scenery, and like I said, there's not much in rides wise, but if you like your scenery, then this is the park to go to. Next, we're going to come to your Universal parks. Now, Universal is basically 3 in 1. It has Islands of Adventure, it has Universal Studios itself, and then it has City Walk. Again, sounds complicated, but actually pretty simple. When you walk past security into the main part, you walk into City Walk. City Walk's kind of like a little bit of a banana shaped, and it's shops and restaurants basically. It's more for your nighttime scene with City Walk, I think. It's just what you walk through, and then when you walk this way, you'll walk over a bridge into Islands of Adventure, and then you'll walk off that way into Universal Studios. So again, I'll show you on the maps. So again, Universal is pretty simple. You can walk round it, start at the beginning and walk round it in one big circle and make your way back to the entrance. So it's a case of you don't have to dash from over here to over here, back to over here. I'd start at the beginning, make your way around and basically visit whichever area you want to visit. It has one big main ride, which is the Hulk. Fantastic ride, absolutely loved it. This bit's kind of like your superhero land. It's where Spider-Man's based, the Hulk. So you kind of adventure area, which is really fun for the kids who like the superheroes. Then you have a kind of a section over here with water rides in it. You have a Jurassic Park ride. Then you have the new King Kong, which is a really good 3D experience. Then over here you kind of have your Jurassic Park area. Then here you have your Harry Potter, which has got a ride and another 3D experience. This ride's actually shut down now. It was a sort of a dual dragon ride. That's shut down. And then over here you kind of have a little bit of a kiddie land again for younger kids. So again, walk round a big massive lake, back to the beginning, and then you're back up at your entrance. Then we'll make our way over to Universal. Again, another super fun themed amusement park. Another massive roller coaster, Ripsaw, which is probably one of the scariest rides I've ever been on, but it's a super fun roller coaster. It goes straight up and then drops you straight down, and yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, that one. Again, you have your Simpson Land, you have a little bit of a kiddie area, you have a Men in Black 3D experience, an ET 3D experience, and then lots of different themed areas. Again, another park for all the family to enjoy. You can again go in, make your way around one side of the park, head over to another, and basically walk in one big circle. So it's pretty simple to get around. Then we come over to SeaWorld. Now, SeaWorld is again, I think, an animal-based theme park. It has a sea lion show, which was super fun and funny to watch. You have a dolphin show, which we actually missed that one. And then they have the most amazing whale show, where the whales do perform big tricks, splash you, and you get absolutely soaked. So yeah, that's a fun and family fun show to go and watch. And then like I say, it's got lots of little different rides, and then there's 3 massive big rides at this one, so for your thrill seekers. So again, another park where there's something in it for the whole family to go and see and go and do. It also has a big log flume, which we didn't actually go on, but yeah, again, it also, this one has a big play area as well. So if the parents want to take a break, it has sort of like a shelter you can sit under, where fans blow at you, and then the kids can run around and have fun and have a play. So again, another family fun area to go to. Then we have somewhere called Disney Springs. Now, Disney Springs isn't a theme park at all. It's basically one big shopping plaza and restaurants. There's lots of hotels and complexes around Disney Springs. You can get about from boats. There's 3 different areas where you can jump on a ferry to get from one side of the park to other. But again, it's pretty simple to walk around. You start at one place, and then basically it's like one big L shape that you walk through, filled with lots of different shops. This was shut when we were there due to the weather, but this is a big hot air balloon that you can go up in, and sort of obviously have a view over Orlando, which I guess would have been really fun to have gone on, if any of you have ever been on that or plan to go on that. So yeah, if you want to do any shopping, this is the place to go. Then we have Discovery Cove. Discovery Cove is an extra package and an extra experience on top of your holiday. Personally, I would say Discovery Cove is one of them things that you have to experience at least one. It is expensive, it is extra on top of your holiday, but it is such a super fun experience. You only need to probably do it the once. You go and you get there very early. You get your breakfast and lunch buffet included. You can eat as much as you want, and then there's a dolphin swim included, and then also the rest of basically the part that I've just showed you on the map included, where there's a shark tank, you can swim with tropical fish, you can feed birds, you get your snorkels provided, where you have to give the glasses back, but you get to keep the snorkel, which is really fun. You get your swimsuits provided, you either have a full body swimsuit or you can have vests. And then there's also life jackets for the little kiddies if they're not very strong swimmers. You get towels provided. There's shower rooms where they also provide shampoo and conditioner and body wash, which is really good. And then when you've done your dolphin swim, you can have the choice of buying a package, pictures, keyrings, the DVD. I got the full package, which was again quite expensive, but again it's one of them things where you're only going to do it once. You're actually provided with something like this. Obviously this is me and Rebecca when we went dolphin swimming. You get a big size massive poster, you get 8 pictures, you get this photo album, and you get a photo frame. You also get provided these passes with your name on it, and obviously the map to show your way around. And obviously these are really cool souvenirs that you can keep. These are just to obviously let people know that you've paid for that experience stay. So yeah, again, if you're not, it's not something you haven't done and you really want to swim with dolphins, I recommend going and doing it. Really fun, and the kids will absolutely love it. Little kids can do it, but obviously they need supervision and you need to fill out a consent form for them, but the whole family will love it. Then you have 4 water parks. You have the new one which got built in May, Volcano Bay. You have Aquatica, you have Typhoon Lagoon, and then there's also Blizzard Beach. Now, when we were there, we only went to Volcano Bay. We didn't go to any others, but personally, I think water parks are all the same. Once you've been to one, you've probably been to them all. Like I said, Volcano Bay is the newest and probably the most exciting one to go to, as it was only built just recently. But it was really cool. Really enjoyed it. Full day out. Again, very good for all the families. Can't really say for the rest of the water parks, but I personally believe, like I say, by sounds of it and by videos that I've watched and clips on the parks, they are all pretty much the same. They just have a different theming around them all, but they have very similar slides at each of them. Some are bigger that for adults to go on. I think they've all got little kiddie areas that the kids can go in. Older kids can't go in the little kiddie. Well, they can go in, but they can't go down the slides because they're too big for. But again, I think each one of the parks that you choose to go to, you probably could do 2 parks in one day. Because I was going to do that with Rebecca on one of the days. We're going to go to one at parks and then go to Volcano Bay later on. But unfortunately, when we were there, the parks were shut. Only Volcano Bay was open on the day that we chose to go. So we just did Volcano Bay. But if you go to one of the parks, I'd say about 9 o'clock, you can spend till, I'd say 2-3 o'clock, and then head over to one of the other parks where you can spend the rest of the day, because I think they are open till about 6-7, maybe 8 o'clock on some days. So you could quite easily, if you want to, get 2 of the parks in, but you could also have a nice fun relaxing day at just one of them and enjoy just doing one of the parks and relaxing on the beach. There's sun decks provided, so you can either chill out and obviously take turns in going down slides, or just basically enjoy. I think they all have lazy rivers, enjoy going in that. They all have wave pools, you can go in that. So again, something for all the family to do. Now there is one more theme park there, which is called I keep wanting to say Bush Tucker Gardens, but it's Busch Gardens, and that is in Tampa, and that is kind of way out away from the other parks. It is about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from Orlando. I didn't personally get to go to that one, but my friends went and they said that park, again, it's based on animals. There's it's like a zoo park there, but there's lots and lots of big rides there. So if you're a thrill seeker, I think that's probably the park to go to. But like I say, I can't really make any comment because unfortunately I didn't get to go to that one. Now I want to discuss how to get to the parks. This is based on if you're staying in a hotel off resort. Me and Rebecca stayed in a hotel on International Drive, so we had to travel to the parks. But obviously, I think it's, again, a lot different if you're staying at a hotel at either one of the parks, which I can't really comment on. So I'm commenting on if you're staying at another hotel and you have to travel to the parks. So obviously, the hotels we stayed in did provide shuttles, and the shuttle, basically, the main drop-off point it took us to was Epcot. The other form of transport we took was an Uber. Really enjoyed getting Ubers. You just, again, set up an account, download the app, and then you sort of, it locates your location where you are, comes and picks you up, you say where you want to go, and then it automatically takes money off your account. So we also did it that way. If you're travelling up and down International Drive, you can sort of, it's darn cheap on the bus. You can jump on the bus and it'll take you anywhere along International Drive. SeaWorld is at International Drive, and the iDrive will take you to SeaWorld, and you can jump on another bus or a shuttle to any of the other resorts like Aquatica or parks that are nearby SeaWorld. And again, the bus is really cheap. I think it's a couple of dollars each for each of your family members, $1 for younger kids. So yeah, that's how you get there. Then when you arrive at Epcot, I think Epcot's the main one. When you get there, you have to go through security. You line up, you go through security, you have your bags checked. I think there's a different gate. If you don't have any bags on, you can walk straight through, and then you might be selected for a body check. But if you have no bags on, you can just go straight through. But if you've got bags on you, you need to go through security. It's kind of like, I'd say, going through the security at the airport, basically. That's how sort of lenient and strict they are on bags. Then when you've gone through security, if you're going into Epcot, you can go straight through the entrance into Epcot. But unlike the parks here, that a lot of the theme parks we have here, you drive to the theme park, you walk through the entrance, you're at the park. This is kind of a little bit complicated. From Epcot to Magic Kingdom, you have to jump on a monorail. You jump on a monorail from Epcot to Magic Kingdom. It will go through a complex first, a hotel complex, and then it will head into Magic Kingdom. Then you're not at Magic Kingdom entrance, but when you arrive at Magic Kingdom entrance, you've either got the choice to jump off the Epcot monorail onto another monorail that will take you to the entrance of Magic Kingdom, or you can choose to go on a ferry boat which will go across a big lake. Either one, you meet up at the same place. So if you've got half your family wants to probably jump on the monorail, or half of the family wants to jump on the ferry boat, you'll meet up at the same location, which is at the entrance to Magic Kingdom. And then if you want to go to any of the other parks, again, at Epcot there's a massive bus station. It's not too confusing. It is clearly signposted. There's a big sign and it tells you each number which stop to go to, where, like Disney Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, blah blah blah, or each of your hotels, which bus stop area you need to go to. So let me have a look here. So to go to Magic Kingdom, like I say, is by monorail. Epcot to Hollywood Studios by boat. And then from Disney Animal Kingdom to the 3 other Disney resorts is by bus. So basically each one of the resorts is a bus location that you can get a bus from to anywhere else that you need to go. But Epcot is probably the main starting point, where you might go there and then go get a bus either to one of the other parks or get a monorail to Magic Kingdom. So it can be kind of confusing, but you do pick it up after a few days and figure out where you want to go from there. But like I say, again, planning that it doesn't just take half an hour to just get there. Wherever you're travelling from, like I say, it probably took us about, I'd say, half an hour to 40 minutes from the hotel to actually get to Epcot, let's say. And then obviously, like I say, you need to queue up at each of the parks to go through security, not just Epcot. At each one of the parks you have to go through security. So again, depending what time of year it is, how busy it is, you have to queue up to go through security, and then again, of course, you have to queue up to get through the entrance. So going back to the fast passes, if you say your fast pass is booked from 9 o'clock, bear in mind, like I say, basically me and Rebecca, each day we probably got up at between 6 and 7 o'clock, had a breakfast, we was out the hotel for 8 o'clock, and some days we weren't making it into the park till about 10, 11 o'clock, which, as you can guess, that's probably half of the morning wasted. So if you've got a fast pass booked for 9 o'clock, make sure you're up early and give you time to get there by transport and make it through the entrances so you can make it to your fast pass. So again, this is based on, like I said, 2 people, which was obviously me and Rebecca. So for us it was pretty simple because we sort of kind of knew what we wanted to do and knew what we didn't want to do. So like I say, I suggest when it's coming up to your holiday, watch as many vlogs as you can on YouTube. Type in anything about Florida or any of the Disney parks, and usually somebody or something will come up on Disneyland on fast passes and how to make your way around and sort of research the parks, which parks you want to go to and what is at each park and what you want to do at each park. So for example, I was worried when I booked the other day, thinking, oh my god, how am I going to do everything, how am I going to fit everything in? And I sort of started to change my mind, thought about it, and I started thinking, right, what is it that we're not bothered about doing it, what we're not bothered about missing? So for example, boat rides. I'm just not a big fan of the boat rides. For example, the Pandora boat ride, It's a Small World. And obviously because Rebecca's older, we didn't have to visit any of the little kiddie area, kiddie lands with little kiddie rides. So when we got to a park, we still started at the beginning and made our way around, but then we sort of, right, we don't want to do this, carry on walking. And essentially that sort of cut out half of our time walking around the park, where we didn't have to do or see every little thing. Also, the shows. Now, the shows, I'm not going to slate at all. They're really, really fun, really, really good. But some people, they do get busy, and some people really, really love the shows, and some people will stand around for hours to find a good spot to see the shows. I'm talking about mainly the nighttime shows, the firework displays, and some of the bigger like Fantasmic show, the firework displays. They were really popular, and people would find a good spot and they'd stand there for hours waiting for it. I wasn't wasting my holiday doing that. We thought we'd walk around the parks and say like a show was happening or it was going on, then, you know, or there was a parade walking past us, then we'd stop and watch it if it was going on as we was passing in the area. Other than that, we didn't really plan them into our schedule, because we just basically wanted to walk around the parks and enjoy them and get on rides. So we kind of missed out, like, any boat rides that we didn't want to do, so we walked past them. Any little kiddie rides that we didn't want to do, we walked past them. Any shows that we didn't want to watch, we'd maybe stop, have a bit of a watch. Some shows are on at certain times, like for example the Beauty and Beast live show at Disney Hollywood Studios. That's on at certain times of the day. We did actually go in and see that, because we sort of did mainly everything we wanted to do, and then it come up to a point where, right, shall we go in? We had half an hour to wait, so we went in. A little tip that I will give you: if you've been on your feet all day and the kids are tired, you're tired, you're super hot, the heat's getting to you, the shows, the indoor shows, let's say, not one like the street performances, the indoor shows like Beauty and Beast, It's a Bug's Life, things like that that are indoors, such a good way to chill out. You get to sit down a bit. It's same with the boat rides as well. You might not want to do boat rides, but it's super cool, super refreshing, and you can sit down for a bit. The shows are all inside, all got good, really, really good air conditioning. So it's just a good way to probably just chill out for half an hour and relax and get some cool breeze in your face before you go back into the heat and start your mad day again. So obviously, basically, if it's just two of you like it was with me and Rebecca, it probably is so much easier to organise your holiday and get about, because there's only two of you. And it was hard in some ways, because obviously I didn't say to somebody, all right, you take her off for half an hour while I have peace and quiet, or do this for myself. We were basically together all day, every day through the entire holiday. So if you're a party of 8 and there's a few adults, a few kids, and the kids are different ages, it probably is a lot harder to plan for, because the kids are obviously going to want to do different things. And then, of course, your day's filled up with sort of pleasing each one of your party, basically. But I would suggest going in together, going into each of the parks together, find a meeting point, wherever that might be, at the start of the circle, let's say, under the big ball, or at the castle. Say, well, we'll all meet back off here. So if the older kids want to go off on their own, maybe they can go off on their own and do what they want. Or say, like, there is something called a child swap. Now, obviously, because I didn't use this, I don't exactly understand how it works, but maybe you want to look into that, because I think it's something like both parents can take a little child on the ride and then swap with the other one, swap the other parent who wants to go on, or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, like I said, because I never used it, but look into child swap basically. And then also take turns, sort of have a bit, like, you know, on some of the vlog video, tip videos, they say go back to the hotel and have a rest. Now, for me personally, obviously that wasn't that simple. Like I say, if you're staying on resort and your hotel's 15-minute away and you go, you freshen up and then come back in, that's probably okay. But if you're not staying on resort, it's probably a lot harder. But there is ways to chill out. There is, like I said, the shores is one. But just to sit down and relax in a restaurant, grab yourself a drink. Why, I don't know, your other half, your partner, or one of your other party can take the kids. They go and do something for an hour or something, come back, meet you, and then maybe you can take over. So there is different ways of relaxing. But for me and Rebecca, it was a case of seeing as much as possible without overdoing it. Because if this holiday you're looking to go and relax and sort of a relaxing holiday, this isn't the holiday for you. This isn't an holiday where I say is a calming, relaxing. Personally, it is very tiring, very stressful with kids, because you like I say, me and Rebecca, we was out the doors at 8 o'clock, and some nights we weren't getting in till 11 o'clock at night. So we were on our feet all day. The heat is so bad, it can knack you out and wear you down so much. So yeah, find your own ways of relaxing and taking turns with the kids. So next I want to discuss spending money. Now again, I just took enough spending money for me and one child. Again, God knows how much you would have to save if there's a party of 8 of you, you know what I mean? So I can't really give any advice on that. My only advice would be, as soon as you've booked your holiday, start saving for your spending money. But I'm going to basically talk about how you can save money whilst you're there. Now, my tip for you, at the park, each of the parks, there is shops galore. Each one of the rides, especially the kiddie rides, all end in a shop. So if you've got kids that like to pester, you're probably going to get your can I want every time you get off a ride. Because, like I say, the shops sell everything galore. Toys, keyrings, t-shirts, sweets, everything you can think of, the shops sell. But they are all exactly the same. They all sell the exact same thing. The only difference is, obviously, they're themed to that ride, themed to that character. So, for example, if you've got a child who likes superheroes like Spider-Man, Batman, or your daughter that likes princesses, they sell all the exact same things, but obviously change the theming to that character. And, of course, if you want to spend, you know, get your child something based on, from each one of the shops, based on different characters, it's going to cost a fortune. My advice to you would be go to a Target or a Walmart, because they are so much cheap. They sell pretty much the exact same things, but they're so much cheaper than buying in the stores, in, you know what I mean, in the resorts. Like, for example, Rebecca, she saw this Avatar dragon that she wanted. Basically electronic that sits on your shoulder, and it costs $60. Now, I explained to her, obviously, one thing, it was super expensive, and then of course the other reason why I explained to her was basically getting it back home. Obviously, you know yourselves how much you've packed in your suitcase, how much can you take home, and how much can you fit back in your suitcase. So again, if you've got a few kids who want toys every single day from every single shop, you're going to have to carry all that stuff home. So just explain to them that, one, it's too expensive, we can see about getting it somewhere else where it might be cheaper. 2, how are we going to get it back home? And 3, maybe it's something you can buy online later for them, for either for the birthday or for Christmas, basically, if it's something that they really want. Or, like I say, go to a Target or Walmart for that thing, because it'll probably be 3 times cheaper than it will be on the site. Again, I would say limit your spending. So spend so much each day. Don't take all your money out with you. Personally, my way of spending money was keeping it on the card, and as you all know, if you'd watched my vlogs, that I did lose my card, which was a pain, but that's usually my way of saving money, is by keeping all my money on my card, so I don't carry cash, because otherwise I'll probably most likely lose cash or overspend. I just spend what I need to spend on the card. But, or if you do carry cash, I don't know, maybe take $100 with you a day for your every day. I don't know, you choose the amount. And then the main thing you probably want money for is obviously food and snacks or whatever. But again, snacks, the hotel we stayed at, we got breakfast and we sort of stocked up at breakfast. We were that busy through the day that we didn't really need dinner. Some days we bought occasional lollipops and snacks and treats through the day, but most of the time we either stocked up at breakfast so much that it filled us up for the day, or we bought snacks with us, put them in our bags, and so that way we didn't have to spend money. Dining, if you're eating at one of them on-site restaurants, like in any of the parks, like the main ones, for example, Rainforest Cafe at Animal Kingdom, Be Our Guest at Magic Kingdom, any of the themed restaurants that you are going to eat at on the site, bear in mind you're going to pay a hell of a lot more than some of the other restaurants, and obviously it is so much cheaper if you eat off-site. When you, at the end of the day, come off-site and go and find a buffet or a Pizza Hut or McDonald's. Obviously, if you don't want to eat at some of them, there's things like Applebee's or an IHOP restaurant, which is just so much cheaper to eat at. So again, it's just a way of saving money, because obviously for me and Rebecca, for example, one at restaurants we probably spent about $60, and that was on 2 main meals and 2 drinks, so that was really, really expensive. So yeah, so it's just a little way of saving money. Don't get carried away spending money, you know what I mean, because it's so easy to just spend money. Like, obviously what I planned on doing is saving as much money I could through the first week and saving money for the last week, because obviously bear in mind you might want to go shopping at malls and other outlets that aren't on the parks. So, you know, if you go and blow all your money in the first few days, you're not going to have a very good holiday for the last week or however long your holiday's for. You want to save as much money as you can by planning how much money you might need for each day, and sort of limiting your spending by not going overboard in the shops, and sort of trying not to eat at the theme restaurants. Of course, you're going to want to maybe eat at 1 or 2 of them because it's an experience. But if you're eating there 3 times a day, every day, it won't be long before you are skint. The next thing I want to talk about is what kind of stuff and what kind of bags do you need to take to the parks. So basically there was a few different bags that I kind of used. I used this one, which was a drawstring bag, kind of small. I wouldn't recommend it, for simple reason is, after a few days, you get sunburn on your shoulders. It does get heavy. These are very uncomfy and sort of dig into your shoulders, and obviously you can't fit a lot into them. Not so bad if you're sort of nipping out for a little bit and you only need to put a few bits in, but yeah, wouldn't recommend this for a long period of time, and for, you know, for the fact that they hurt your shoulders. The other bag that I used was this one, kind of like a beach kind of bag. And again, 1 strap shoulder bag, so again, not really, can fit a lot in this, but believe it or not, it's kind of bigger than what it looks, but gets heavy and does dig into your shoulder. Now, the bag that I bought myself whilst I was there was my favourite, which is this rucksack. Super comfy on the straps and on the shoulders, and there's a lot of different compartments to put a lot of different things in it, so you know what I mean, you could fit so much in and then put them in different compartments in the bag. Side pockets here for your bottles. So yeah, this was my favourite bag overall to use. I bought it there. Really, really comfy and really, really obviously cool to walk around the parks with. So now what to put in the bags. Obviously sun lotion. Make sure you stock up on your sun lotion for you and your family. I would say put maybe a change of clothes in there. Well, not a change. Well, maybe you want to change your clothes because you do obviously get wet through the day, but you do dry off. But you might want to pack ponchos. So if it does start to rain, or if you're going on a wet ride, you want ponchos, waterproof ponchos. You can either buy them there, or again save money and either buy them before you go, or at Walmart's or Target's or whatever. You want snacks to pack for the kids and for yourselves, you know what I mean? Just if you're not planning on, you know what I mean, going to a restaurant, you might want to take sort of cheese strings, crisps, little easy things that aren't going to go like one day Rebecca put a banana in the bag, and after a few hours it just got all smushed with the heat. So just things that aren't going to go off in the sunshine that you want to take with you. Obviously bottles, sport bottles, so you can put water in. And again, another way to save money, referring back to what I talked to before, rather than buying bottled water or drinks all day long, just take a sport bottle, and when you're walking around the parks, each place you see that has the soda drinks that sell Coca-Cola, they ask them very politely, can you fill this bottle up with water? And they will quite happily do it. They might not fill the bottle up, but they'll give you a cup full of water and you can just chuck it in, and you can do that as many times as you want a day, and then that will save you a lot of money. And just keep refilling on your water and drinking plenty of water. The other thing that was my best friend holiday was one of these. Now again, another way of saving money, in the parks they sell spray bottles but with a fan on, a Disney spray bottle with a fan on, but they cost like $18, so they were quite kind of expensive. So I just took this, which cost me £1, fill it up with cold water, and if you get overheated, just give yourself a bit of a squirt. Me and Rebecca had loads of fun squirting each other with this throughout the day, because you get so hot that you just need a bit of, you can stand in there in the line, just give yourself a spray all over your body and it cools you off. Then of course you might want to put stuff in the packs for the kids, like a DS, colouring books, stuff to keep you occupied whilst you may be queuing up, things like that, books, sunglasses you want to pack. And then obviously you've got your phone and your cameras. You might want backup chargers for your cameras and backup packs. Bear in mind, my phone, when we were there, it kept overheating. It really did. Because of the heat, my phone just kept overheating and just crashing and wouldn't work. So you want a cool, refreshing case, and then backup chargers that you obviously need to recharge your phone with, because your battery will go super dead if you're constantly filming or taking pictures all day. And then, of course, you want your passes. Now, I've got 3 passes here. That's my Universal one. That includes the Universal Islands of Adventure, Volcano Bay and City Walk. Then I've got another one here that is for SeaWorld, Aquatica, the water parks, Discovery Cove, all them ones. And then the main ones for the Disney parks, a Disney Pass. With these you can link with that app that I told you to download. As soon as you as soon as you arrive at the park and you get your tickets, you get these, and you can link these with your app, and then you can scan these for any photos you have taken, and it appears on your account, so you have 30 days to download any photos that have been taken. So you want to pack them. You can either have lanyards, which are really fun for the kids, or you can have like a little super pouch like this where you can put all your cards in. So them are super fun. And then yeah, so that's basically your bags. And you don't want to, obviously if you've got babies, you want to take anything you might need for your babies, like bottles, but you don't want to overpack, because bear in mind you've got to carry it around with you, and I hate carrying bags at the best of times, but when you're tired and obviously you've got to make room for anything that you might buy through the park, you want a nice comfortable bag, as I showed you, where you can fit a reasonable amount of stuff in that isn't going to weigh you down and tire you out. So now on to what to do and what not to do at the parks. One of my tips is plan. And when I say plan, I don't mean over plan, like get carried away where we have to do this minute, we have to do that this day, like plan for every day, every minute of your holiday. Plan to some extent. So like I said, like me and Rebecca went for 2 weeks. If you're going for 2 weeks, on some days, say, right, on this day we'll do this park, we'll do Magic Kingdom, and we'll do these rides. So you can plan your fast passes for that park and then rides. And then on another day you might say, right, and on this day we'll go Epcot and we'll do this and we'll do that. You can't plan, you know, for every day, every minute. You want to leave some days free so you can wake up and think, right, what shall we do today? Right, let's just relax by the pool today. There is other things to do. There isn't just the parks to do. There are other, like I say, we stayed on International Drive, and there are also 2 malls. There's Millennia and there's Mall of Florida, which are 2 big malls you might want to visit. There are so many shopping outlets that you might want to visit. And then on International Drive, there's things like the Coca-Cola I and a few fun fairs, one of them being the Fun Spot, which obviously you might not want to do it because it's extra money on top of your holiday that you have to pay for. And then there's lots of different shops and attraction on International Drive that you might want to do, like a Believe It or Not, a Titanic experience, different things like that, where you can walk, I'd say, halfway up and down International Drive, but there is buses that do run up and down that drop you off at different locations. There is somewhere called NASA, obviously NASA the Space Centre, which of course we didn't go to, that you might want to visit. So you might want to just leave days open where you might think, like, let's go and do one of these, or just something simple like relaxing by the pool at the hotel. So you do want to plan to some extent so you can use your fast passes, but don't over plan basically. My other tip would be, don't waste your holiday. Don't waste it waiting around for stuff to happen. Like, for example, if you live local to the park and you're going to the parks all the time, or if you're lucky enough to go to these parks once a year, then you can probably chill out more and say, right, I did this last time, right, this time we'll do this. But if this is your first time there and you're probably not going to go back there again anytime soon, like myself, you don't want to waste it stood around queuing or stood around waiting for something to happen, like a show. Now obviously you're going to be queuing to some extent, but if there's a ride that you're not overly bothered about that has got a queue of 2.5 hours, and for example I'm going to say things like It's a Small World, the Peter Pan ride, the Pandora boat ride, things like that, where, okay, if you want to do them, then fine, that's fine. But personally, for somebody like me, I wouldn't waste my time spending 2 hours queuing up for a ride like that, because it just isn't worth it. There are better things to do, such as walking around the parks and enjoying, taking in the atmosphere and the theming, which is much better than stood in a boring queue. Concentrate on that day that you're on. Don't think about what happened yesterday. Oh, but yesterday we did this, yesterday we did that. Concentrate on that day, and also don't start worrying about your holidays. Well, don't start thinking, oh, we've only got 2 more days left, we've only got 3 more days left. Concentrate on that day you're on. So don't start thinking, oh, we need to cram this in today because tomorrow we've got this to do, and then tomorrow. Just concentrate on getting through each day. So you wake up in the morning, think, right, this is the plan for today. Enjoy every single minute of every single day, because if you start worrying and overthinking it and thinking, oh, right, it's coming to the end of our holiday and we haven't done this, you'll spoil your holiday. Just enjoy it and just concentrate on each day that you have, because tomorrow morning you might wake up and something might happen which, you know, for example, a storm will come through like it did for us and wipe out 3 days of your holiday, because the parks will shut, rides will shut down, and if you plan on doing something that day, you're going to have to change your plan. So just concentrate on that day that you're on, so you're not wasting away your holiday thinking, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. Just enjoy each day as it comes, and minute by minute. Take time to rest, as I said before. Rest by either taking turns with the kids, or basically going, sitting down and watching a show, or just sitting down and having a break by having something to eat, or just, you might need a portion of the day where your feet are killing you so much, where you just need to take the weight off and sit down, have something to eat. And like I said before, the best thing for that is going watching a show, so you can get the aircon and you can just relax. Don't rush around, don't rush from one place to the other, because you'll just exhaust yourself out. Also, drink plenty of water. With the heat, you will need so much water, and just keep drinking as much water as you can to keep yourself dehydrated. I think with me personally, I did lose my appetite, so you're probably not, you don't really need to keep eating and eating. Obviously, it depends on your appetite, but I would say drink as much as possible. Try not to get angry or stressed. The kids do stress you out on this holiday, because you get, I want, I want to do this, I want to go with you. The kids do stress you out, but try not to let it. Try to, like I say, take turns with the kids, or letting them, if they're old enough, going on a ride by themselves and you take 10 minutes to yourself, or just try not to get as stressed. It might be, I'm sort of contradicting myself here, because it is very stressful with kids, but just try not to spoil your holiday by getting angry at each other. Don't get angry at any of the staff that work at the parks. Main thing being queuing. Like, if you've queued for a long time, for example, or to meet a character, and then that character's gone off, and they've asked you to wait, that character will come back, because bear in mind, them people that work in them parks work all day, probably most at night as well, and they're stood around in heat meeting person after person after person. So I think what happens is they do have time slots. So if you're in a queue to meet a character and you get to the front of that queue and that character disappears, it's usually to go and have a break, and they will be back out. And it's same with the ride. If you're queuing up to go on a ride, there's a chance it could break down. Don't get angry with the staff that work there, because they're doing the best job that they possibly can do you know what I mean, dealing with all these people in the scorching heat. So do not get angry with the staff. So my one and main tip to you is basically enjoy yourselves. It is the most incredible, breathtaking, magical place on earth, as they do say, and just enjoy it, because like I said before, it's probably not a holiday that you can afford every year, that you're going to get to go to every year. Even people that live local don't go every year because it is that expensive. But whilst you're there, just enjoy and take in as much as possible, because there is loads of things to do and loads of things to see. So just have a good time and enjoy yourselves and have a fantastic holiday.